In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we'll give you an update on how the spread of the COVID-19 virus has impacted how we'll enjoy Falmouth's beaches this summer. Learn about a group of Falmouth women who are making fabric face masks for anyone who lives or works in our community, and stop by a wildly successful Safe Plates event fundraiser. All this and much more on this episode of Falmouth in Focus. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. Summer is here, and with beach weather attracting more visitors to seaside spots like Falmouth, it's important that we follow guidance from our local Board of Health to help prevent further spread of the coronavirus. Let's hear from Scott McGann, Falmouth's health agent, on the latest Phase 2, Step 2 regulations.
Well, it's a little early to know whether there's been an increase in cases. You start opening on June 22nd. There's an incubation period up to 14 days. So I haven't seen anything necessarily come across to say that there's anything happening with cases since we've gone into the Phase 2, Step 2. All the state data still shows everything on a nice downward trend. So in terms of Phase 2, Step 2, I would know a little bit more maybe in the future, the next week or so, whether there's been an increase in cases. So what did Phase 2, Step 2 actually do? It allowed indoor restaurant seating with a minimum of 6 feet of spacing. So you'll see a combination outdoor seating, indoor seating, because restaurants will lose some of their indoor seating because of the spacing. Also people's comfort levels. So you see a lot of outdoor spacing that's gone through a permitting process here at Town Hall. In a combination now with some indoor seating. Okay. Personal care such as nail salons, tattoo parlors, personal training, massage therapy was allowed to open on the 22nd. Office spaces, which were originally limited to 25%, is now increased to 50%, and with a still work from home whenever possible. And also retail fitting rooms by appointment. So that was Phase 2, Step 2 in a nutshell. Right now, do I get complaints? Yes. We follow up on the complaints as much as we can. We follow up on ones that seem to be more serious than others or not. So so as far as are we getting retail spaces having too many people in it? Yes. Are we getting social distancing complaints? Yes. And we're doing our best to follow up, especially with the establishments. There is a process for verbal, written, and fining. That's what the state has outlined in guidance, and I've had to do that, and I don't like to do that, but we do verbally, and we try to get it done quickly with verbal. Phase 3 could come as early as next week, around the 29th or so of June. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen that quick, but it could. I mean, it's a minimum of 3 weeks, and June 8th was the beginning of Phase 2, so it's possible. But Phase 2, Step 2 is underway. Here in Falmouth, we've got visitors, and we have a lot of people, and hopefully we can continue to maintain that the social distancing, because that seems to be key. The masks and the social distancing have been very important.
Thanks to Jeff Wyman for that important report. The FCTV website is your local resource for the latest information on the COVID-19 spread and recovery period, which includes links to local and state information on the phases of reopening, as well as safety information. The challenge of maintaining social distancing will face all Falmouth beachgoers this season, so we checked in with Falmouth's acting beach superintendent, Maggie Clayton, to see how her department is adapting to the new beach regulations and what beachgoers can expect along our shores.
Hi, I'm Maggie Clayton, acting beach superintendent for the town of Falmouth. We're here at Surf Drive Beach to talk about how the beaches have changed a little bit in reaction and response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our parking lots are currently at 50% capacity. They're enforced by these concrete barriers so that we do not overcrowd the beaches. We also asked that patrons and employees wear masks within 6 feet of each other. Each employee was issued 2 masks similar to this one with ties, and they can wear their own for their 5-day-a-week shifts. But when a lifeguard does first aid, when the parking lot attendant is at the gate taking money, when they're within 6 feet of someone, they're wearing their masks, making sure that they're modeling responsible social distancing protocols. The Barnstable County Reopening Task Force issued some guidelines, which you will see posted around our beaches. What those guidelines say is that when you are finding a spot for yourself on the beach, to ideally be 12 feet from another group. This allows 6 feet on either side of you for those who are walking through to find their spot or to go to the bathroom. When you are sitting with your group that you came with, if they are people you live with, you are not expected to wear a mask. If you are joining up with people at the beach who you do not live with, and you're with them for longer than 15 minutes, you are expected to wear a mask. Masks are not effective in the water and thus not a requirement. The lifeguard staff, again, will wear them on land enforcing rules, but in responding to an emergency, they will not have one on. Presumably the person in the water emergency would not have one on. The beach department employs about 118 staff members, and we just ask that all patrons be respectful of our staff and understand that we are doing our best to meet these COVID-19 protocols, keep ourselves and beachgoers safe during a pandemic so that beach access, which is so important for mental health and a traditional summertime experience on Cape Cod, can stay and be safe for everyone involved. At this time, all 10 public beaches are open to the public. All facilities are regular operation with the exception of changing rooms and shower towers, which will be allowed based on the Massachusetts phased reopening in the future. So we hope to see you soon down at the beaches.
Be sure to check for the latest beach regulations, including the status of the beach parking lots, on the Town of Falmouth's website, falmouthmass.us. Thanks to Andrew Richards for that story. It's time now for 3 things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Falmouth Town Meeting took place on the new football field outside of the high school last week to discuss a handful of articles that are on the original warrant from April. Among these articles was the budget. A debate broke out about the idea of filling the town position of Affirmative Action Outreach Coordinator. One motion, to take money out of the police department budget to use for funding this position, was made. Several town meeting members spoke about this, and finally the legislative body in Falmouth voted to approve funding the position without using money from the police department budget.
Hi, my name is Sandra Famid Silva, Precinct 2, and I would like to make a motion relative to this line item, 93 Public Safety. And I would like to make some comments. Shall I do the comments first?
No, let's get a motion first.
Okay, thank you. I hereby make this motion to reallocate one police department new position from line item number 93, Public Safety, for the creation of an Affirmative Action Diversity Outreach Coordinator to be allocated at 50% to line item 122, Selectman Town Manager, for hiring an Affirmative Action Diversity Outreach Coordinator, 50% time, and to allocate at 50% to line item 300, School Department, for hiring Affirmative Action Diversity Outreach Coordinator, 50% time.
Douglas Jones, Precinct 1. I couldn't agree with Mr. Sellers more about the value of our police department, so I'd like to propose an amendment to what's been suggested. Instead of reducing the police line budget, I'd like to increase line item N with the certified free cash of the amount for $84,000. In respect to Ms. Mullen, I know that we do not want to use one-time costs for repeating expenses, but that also will give us the year to come up with the $84,000 in our operating budget in the future. I think both ideas are very important at this time to move forward with an affirmative action officer, given what's going on in the world. I think is crucial, but to support our police department is also just as important.
Funds were appropriated in this town meeting in the amount of $971,507 to hire 8 additional firefighters in Falmouth. On May 19th, the town voted to approve these funds, and town meeting needed then to appropriate these funds. Some town meeting members felt with funds being uncertain now and into the future that the town should hold off on funding the positions until a clearer fiscal outlook is seen. Ultimately, town meeting voted in favor of funding the override for the 2.5%.
I speak in favor of the article. I also want to make a comment that I love the diversity here this evening of opinions. Joe Nero, myself, we may be on opposite sides, but we're all in here for the good of the town. I also encourage town meeting members to look at the website before we come to the meetings. I've never seen a budget prepared by the administration with so many details. I haven't been in many cities and towns. This is one of the best. I ask your support. The voters voted for us to support this tonight. How many times do we go to town meeting and people say, well, what do people in your precinct think about what you should and how you should vote? My precinct is telling me to vote for it. So vote for this article. The voters have spoken. We're going to protect our town. It's not fire versus police or us versus affirmative action. It's our vote is to benefit the quality of life in this town, to support the fire department in all their efforts, and for public safety, let's make sure we do it and get it done. Thanks.
A handful of additional articles were discussed and voted on at this unusual town meeting, all budget-related. Of the 49 original articles to be discussed, only 7 were discussed outside on the high school football field. In addition to funding additional firefighters and an affirmative action outreach coordinator, the fiscal year 2021 budget included increases to schools, Community Preservation Committee administration, and Upper Cape Cod Regional Technical High School.
In accordance with the declaration that I issued, we've completed all of the budget-related articles, and by call of the chair, I'll adjourn this meeting until 7 p.m. Wednesday, July 22nd, unless further continued and recessed by declaration under Chapter 39, Section 10A of the General Laws. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on your first outdoor town meeting. Did a good job tonight. Thank you, and be safe on your drive home.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll check in with a group of Falmouth women who are volunteering their skills to make fabric face masks. Stay with us.
Falmouth Community Television is an essential public service. During this challenging time, we've been working hard to keep you informed.
By bringing you the latest information you've come to expect.
In our town and in the world around us.
So check out our website or our Facebook page.
Or Public Channel 13, Educational Channel 14, or our Government Channel 15.
For video updates from our local and state officials.
Local town meetings.
And special member and staff programming.
And we want to hear from you, too.
Send us your short video for our series, Sharing Your Stories.
Or participate in community conversation series online.
So stay healthy, stay safe, stay strong.
And stay engaged with FCTV.
Because FCTV cares.
FCTV cares.
Because FCTV cares about you.
Welcome back. Masks for Falmouth is a group of women in the Falmouth area who are concerned about the risk of transmission of the COVID-19 virus and have banded together to make non-medical cotton face masks for those who need them. The masks are provided free of charge to Falmouth residents and employees. Let's take a look.
Okay, we found out that the virus was going to shut things down in early March, and on social media, I saw that there were a lot of people who were making masks, and they were talking about masks and what were we going to do. And it became clear that many women I know were sewing and making masks for their friends and family. And we thought about, a small group of us got together online and said maybe we could do something to help produce masks for the town to prevent spread. And we came up with a group that started with about 25 people. We're up to about 55 now, and we're making masks. that we can share with people here in the community, and they don't cost anything. And we've now got them in sizes for little kids and bigger kids, and we have ones for people who wear hearing aids, where the mask elastic goes all the way around the back of your head and the back of your neck, and those have been popular with a number of people. We started off with a lot of quilters, and quilters have stashes of fabric. They always have a closet with fabric, and people were donating fabric. And we discovered that, we had lots and lots of fabric, and we needed to get the elastic and the notions, the thread, the sewing machine needles. And so we started reaching out to people on Facebook saying, could you donate fabric? And could you donate some thread or something? And as time went on, we developed a distanced assembly line so that there's people who go out and pick up the fabric, and then they take it to another person's house and she washes it. And it's quarantined at all stages of the process, and it goes to cutters, and then it goes to stitchers, because the stitchers are people who tend to be older, because we learned when we were younger. And so it came together, and we reached out, and then we figured out that we needed some money for this. So we started a GoFundMe page. We have a website. We have an email address, so that especially for people who don't have access to these things, we wanted to be able to let people know you can, if you have a friend, let them know that we have masks for people with hearing aids. Let them know that we have kids' masks. Let them know that they can get a mask here. And they can either go online to our website and request it and pick it up near here, or we can deliver. We have runners who can take things to people's homes. The response has been wonderful. The response has been great from people. They're thankful to have something that that they can use over and over again, because this can be washed and used many times. It's also been particularly special for me, because I've gotten to know women I never would have had a chance to get to know. And the women have all expressed the feeling they need to do something, because they don't know what to do. And it's built a wonderful community, a circle of women who are working together, and I think I can call them friends now because of this.
If you would like to volunteer for Masks for Falmouth, visit their website at masksforfalmouth.org. Thanks to Bob Fenstermaker for that story. Falmouth Community Television is committed to helping support our local businesses as they transition during the changing phases of reopening during the coronavirus pandemic. FCTV spoke to local restaurateur Bobby Jarvis about the challenges he's faced as he welcomes customers back to his 3 restaurants.
How you doing? I'm Bob Jarvis, owner here at Bucatino Restaurant and Wine Bar. We're outside during the crazy times of the pandemic, creating our social distancing out in the garden. Inside, we've spread out all of our tables 6 feet or more, plenty of space. At the Quarterdeck Restaurant, we also have outdoor dining down on Main Street, Falmouth. Everything's social distancing. This has been a struggle for everybody in the restaurant business. A lot of regulations and a lot of new rules, but we're trying to keep our staff and our customers as safe as possible. We have also started a QR code, so it's a non-touch menu process where you take your camera and you attach it to the QR code, and our menu comes up, so that also relieves as much contact as possible. I think the public has seen, how clean the restaurants already are and how we've come even further. I see those not going away, just to keep the public as confident as possible. It has just been really amazing how the staff has responded and how the customers have responded and appreciated, us adding extra staff during this time. So the curbside pickup for the to-goes, I don't think the public understands how hard it is and what kind of changes we've had to make in the restaurant. But the reason why we do it is for our patrons and to keep everybody comfortable and safe and still well fed as much as possible. Our staff, I can't say anything but gratitude. All of our great clientele, our regulars that coming back and supporting us at Bucatino, at the Quarterdeck, at the Pilot House. We really appreciate the public, and you guys have made this easier on us. Thank you very much.
Stay tuned to FCTV and Falmouth in Focus in the months ahead for more stories about Falmouth businesses and how they are adapting to the ever-changing restrictions due to COVID-19. Thanks to Andrew Richards for that story. The museums on the Green may be closed to the public at the moment, but many events are still going on virtually. We spoke to Executive Director Mark Schmidt about what they are doing to stay connected to the community.
The museums are still closed. We are a phase 3 operation. We hope to open realistically, probably in mid-August, but the gardens are still open. So if somebody wants to come and visit our grounds, the grounds are looking beautiful. We have tables up. If you want to enjoy a picnic lunch, we welcome you to come. The exhibits aren't open yet. We hope to have everything ready to go, as I said, in mid-August. We want to make sure everyone's safe. We have enough PPE on hand to make sure that everyone, visitors, volunteers, staff, are all taken care of. So we don't want to do this too early. We want to make sure that we do it right, do it well. But in the meantime, we do encourage you to come visit the grounds at 55 and 65 Palmer Avenue. In the meantime, we are still trying to stay engaged as we have our programs, what they call Safer at Home. And if you go onto our website, museumsonthegreen.org, you will see a list of virtual talks. We've been doing this now since mid-May. They've been very popular. If you have a Zoom account, you can just stay at your kitchen table, stay at your dining room table, put on your laptop, put on your phone, and you can tune in. Generally, it happens on weeknights from 7 to 8, but not always. There's a couple of them that are at 3 in the afternoon. So there's any number of things that we have going on through May, through June, through July, through August, and beyond. We know that these virtual talks are going to continue well after this pandemic is done. We want to make sure that people stay safe, stay healthy. So that way you don't have to get in your car, you can stay at home. We're not putting you at any risk, you're not worried about any crowds. And we're also going to do something for the kids on August 7th. Our most popular event has always been our teddy bear picnic. So this year, we're going to do things a little bit differently. For years, we've always called it a make and take affair. This year, we're going to flip-flop. It's going to be a take and make affair. That on August 7th at 10 a.m., we will have a Zoom meeting for the kids, the parents, the grandparents, to actually make the bears, sing songs, have activities. What we're going to do is you go online, you make a reservation for your kids, your grandkids. We'll set it up so you can come to the Museums on the Green, pick up your bear kits, and then everybody can do it at home in the safety of their house so no one's being put at risk. So we want to make sure that while we haven't been able to welcome visitors back yet, we are not packing up our tent. We still want to make sure we're engaged, we're in your lives, that we're educating, informing, entertaining you. And we hope we've been able to do that in a way. So if you go to museumsonthegreen.org, it's got a listing of all our talks, what's going on in July, what's going on in August, what's going on in September and beyond. At the present time, they are free. In the future, we're going to charge a nominal amount, but we want to make sure that people still can enjoy everything that we've got to offer while not putting themselves at risk.
You can check out the full schedule of events at the museum's website, and be sure to tune into FCTV to catch replays of the most recent talks. Thanks to Alan Russell for that story. We're going to take a break to hear about an adoptable dog from Friends of Falmouth Dogs, and when we return, We'll stop in at a fundraiser at Wacoit Congregational Church. Stay with us.
What does Lola want, you ask? A new home with someone to love, of course. Lola is a frisky 10-year-old Chihuahua mix currently in foster care. She's been living with a large dog and a cat and seems to enjoy their company. Well, she tolerates the cat. We don't know how well Lola interacts with children. She is house and crate trained and definitely considers her crate a refuge and safe spot. Health-wise, Lola is up to date on all shots and is microchipped. She does have some heart disease, but is taking medication to strengthen her heart. In spite of this heart issue, walking is one of her favorite activities, as is jumping up on a bed to sleep with her human. Another favorite activity is eating, but her new home will need to help Lola slim down a bit. If you'd like to meet Lola, call Friends of Falmouth Dogs at 508-548-7742 and leave a message.
Welcome back. Hundreds of hungry Falmouth area residents made their way to the Wacoit Congregational Church on June 18th in hopes of getting a taste of a delicious drive-through dinner while raising funds to benefit racial justice. As it turned out, the event was a huge success. Here's a look at how it went.
I'm Reverend Nell Fields. I'm the minister of the Wacoit Congregational Church, and something incredible happened today. Something beyond even my understanding of my comprehension. We sold 600 meals to go to raise money for racial justice organizations in an hour and 10 or hour and 15 minutes.
For tonight's takeaway dinner, we prepared jerk chicken along with corn on the cob, rice and beans, coleslaw, and then
festival, which is a fried dough.
I think we, as a restaurant and a bakery, have a platform to bring people together, and that being food. Everyone enjoys a meal and good food, and they can really feel the love in a meal. So I think using that as the platform and getting people to come somewhere for food is a way to get them all to congregate, come together as a community, and put money forward to donate. And we are willing, and Nell is willing to donate time and for these amazing causes, which everyone should really be concerned about.
We came down because we heard about the dinner, Jamaican food. Chase is half Jamaican, and we love Jamaican food. And but more importantly, we came down to support the cause. We know Nell and we know this church, and we visit occasionally, and we know that they're a progressive church, and we know that they care about people and all people.
It was an extreme success, but our hearts are hurting because we can't feed all the people that have come tonight.
We're feeling horrible right now. I just like to give out love and, show love through food and just let people know that we really care about them. And we're trying to raise money to help educate people about diversity and racial injustice.
We had people driving all the way from the Lower Cape to support us, and to me, it says people are hungry. People are hungry not only for food, but for meaning making and for racial justice and to right the wrongs that have been going on in our country for so long. So many people who came here gave us money beyond the cost of the meal. And then when we had to tell people that there were no more meals, the cars were still lined up and people wanted to give. They wanted to be part of this movement that is truly bringing the soul and the heart and the conscience of our country back together.
Thanks to Andrew Richards for that coverage. Falmouth has always been a community filled with people and organizations that dig deep with their hearts and their wallets to support almost any need. Here's Troy's take on an informal group that is working to help others during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thanks, Michael. I am here at the beautiful and historic Nobska Light, one of the most iconic pieces of property on all of Cape Cod, if not Massachusetts. But I'm here to draw your attention to this sign. Over the last couple of months, these Falmouth Cares signs have popped up at prominent locations all over our community, and so we thought we'd share with you a little bit about what they mean and where they came from. So as the impacts of the pandemic began to unfold, a few friends were sitting around in a virtual circle. Of course, our host, Michael Kasparian, was one of them. And in addition to Michael, Flying Bridge owner Bill Zammer and local retired tech executive and our statistician, Gary Vacan, were just chatting about how we could be helpful and help businesses understand the impacts of the pandemic. So we started a weekly TV show that really cataloged our discussions called Falmouth Cares. In addition to that, we thought maybe we could find some way to give back to the community through our discussions. And with that, a friend of Gary's created this beautiful Falmouth Cares logo, and Bill and his wife Linda, as well as Sam and Judy LaRusso, purchased 1,000 t-shirts with this logo on them. We've been selling them right along, and all of the proceeds are split between the Falmouth Service Center and Belonging to Each Other, a local homeless prevention nonprofit. So we're going to show you some of the other businesses that have supported our Falmouth Cares efforts and that are proudly displaying this banner throughout our community. So our team member Gary Vacan had 20 of these banners printed up, and no sooner were they printed than they had sprouted up all over town, including here at the former Falmouth Hotel right on Main Street. At the end of selling the t-shirts, we were very fortunate to grab our generous donors, Bill and Linda Zammer and Sam and Judy LaRusso, and present checks for $5,500 each to the Falmouth Service Center and Belonging to Each Other. We're grateful to have coverage of that, so let's cut away to that. Because our generous benefactors purchased all of the t-shirts, every dime from the sale of those t-shirts has gone to benefit two incredible local organizations who are represented here today. The Falmouth Service Center and Belonging to Each Other will each be the recipient of checks for $5,500 based on your efforts to support Falmouth Cares. So it's my honor to turn this over to my good friend and fellow Falmouth Cares Roundtable member, Falmouth Chamber President Michael Kasparian, to present the checks.
Thank you very much, Troy. So I'm going to be handing out a check over here to Paul McAdam, the CEO of the Belonging to Each Other, very important group that raises money and shelters homeless people during the winter months. Critical service. We're anticipating, obviously, that service to be even more needed this year. The check of $5,500. Congratulations for all your good work, and it has been our pleasure to help.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome. Little bump right there. Then I'd like to turn it over to Gary Vacan, who will make the next check presentation.
And we'd like to present this $5,500 check to the Service Center, an organization in Falmouth that I can't tell you how much we love. This organization has done so much for this town. Every dollar goes to the right place. If there's a cause to give to, I'm just so proud to be able to do this, Karen. I'd give you a hug if I could.
Thank you so much. We're just incredibly grateful. Thank you very much for all of this organization has done.
Our pleasure.
Thank you much you do.
In addition to that, we also have received some other donations. So to both the Falmouth Service Center, and I'll wait to hand these off so we're not touching it all, the Falmouth Fireworks Committee through Falmouth Cares made a donation of $500 each to each organization. So I have checks here for an additional $500. And in addition, David Chapman of Chapman, Cole, and Gleason made an individual contribution to each one of these organizations. And I have those checks here, which I'll distribute also. So, pretty amazing.
Unbelievable, and thank you to all of you, especially thank you to Bill and to Gary and Michael, who gathered together every week to share the hopes and the fears and the solutions of this community during this pandemic. And we gathered together every week because Falmouth Cares. And so it's our pleasure to bring this celebration of the mosaic of our community to you here today. Our local faith community came together as well. I'm here finishing up at the Wacoit Congregational Church, where the Reverend Nell Fields proudly displays one of our Falmouth Cares banners, but more importantly also helped us publicize our charitable efforts and was one of many, many people who came together to wear those shirts in solidarity to show that despite the challenges of this uncertain time, we are indeed one Falmouth and we're all in this together. I'm Falmouth Enterprise columnist Troy Clarkson, and that's my take. Back to you, my Falmouth Cares friend, Michael Kasparian.
Thanks to Troy Clarkson and Donna Buckley for that story. It may be time for summer vacation, but the staff from the Falmouth Public Schools are still hard at work. Nurse Lori from East Falmouth Elementary has some hand washing tips for us that we all should follow.
Hi everyone, I'm Nurse Lori from East Falmouth Elementary, and I'm going to talk to you today about the proper way to wash your hands. Hand washing is so important, especially now with the coronavirus. But it's always important to wash your hands, especially right before you're going to touch your face. Germs and viruses are invisible, and that means that you can't see them. So if you touch something and it has a virus or a germ on it, and then you touch your face, then those germs and viruses can go into your body and make you very, very sick. So before you touch your face, like before you're eating or something like that, you need to wash your hands. The proper way to wash your hands is to wash them for at least 20 seconds, which is about the same amount of time it takes to sing Happy Birthday or the alphabet song or Row Row Your Boat or something like that. You want to use warm water and soap whenever possible. So the first thing you want to do is to turn the water on, wet your hands, and apply some soap. Turn the water off while you're washing your hands. You want to make sure to wash in between your fingers, the palms of your hands, the tops of your hands, your wrists, your thumbs, your fingernails. You see all the suds? That friction, that washing really helps to get rid of the germs and the viruses. So you want to make sure to do this for 20 seconds at least. Then rinse. And dry your hands. So remember, wash your hands before you touch your face and try to avoid touching your face as much as possible. Thank you.
Thanks to Jackson Weissman and Ryan Weber for that video. Stay tuned to FCTV to remain connected to your local community as we continue to bring you the latest developments and news through our local coverage of the coronavirus phased reopening plan. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, our website, and stay tuned to channels 13, 14, and 15. And FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. We leave you now with the sights and sounds from the annual reading of the Declaration of Independence by Troy Clarkson and Bob Haskell. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.
In Congress, July 4, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.